Welcome to Mars.
Welcome back to Mars Radio. I'm here with my next guest. Our next guest is a singer from Oakland, California. He goes by the name of Rayven Justice. Rayven, thank you for being on the show.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, thank you. Go ahead and give an introduction to your supporters of Mars Radio and let them know who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
Mars Radio, what's up with it? My name Rayven Justice from Oakland, California. Singer, songwriter. A living king doing my thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And like you said, you're from Oakland, California, correct?
Yep, East Oakland to be exact.
East Oakland. Okay, so is that where you were born and raised?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you think of when you think of home? When you think of East Oakland, what comes to mind?
Sideshow.
Sideshows.
Immediately.
That was the quickest answer for Mars Radio. Some people just sit around and look and get out. You do right away, right?
Come on, man.
What is it about the sideshow culture that you think makes Oakland stand out as opposed to other cities that try to, do the same thing?
I ain't gonna lie, I recently just started seeing that a lot of cities be doing them. You know what I'm saying? But we just our own place, man, and it's just we just got a lot of great legends from the city. You get what I'm saying? From the hood, Keep the Sneak. Shout out Keep, man. Who just put the soil on the map in that light to where, you know what I'm saying, he shed that light on the sideshow. You know what I'm saying? Being in East Oakland. So, it's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my whole, you know what I'm saying, section.
Something that comes to mind when I think of Oakland is Oakland, because I've been all around the world, and Oakland is the city with the most pride out of anywhere I've ever been. Overseas,
Definitely.
everything.
Definitely.
What do you think it is about Oakland that you guys are so prideful being from Oakland? You could damn near offend somebody saying that they're from the Bay Area instead of saying Oakland exactly.
It is like that. And I really can't tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? Just shout out to my soil. You get what I'm saying? They imprinted that in me.
Right.
So you get what I'm saying? Like it's one of the things that's unexplainable. You get what I'm saying? You got to just be from that spot, this area, to know that passion that we got. You know what I mean? Everybody I know feel that way in the whole town. So,
yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of historical things like, the Black Panthers and, you know what I mean? Just so many talented people that came out the city and shed light on our city. So it's like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It's a lot behind it too. And we all know that. You know
like
what I mean?
Right here, about an hour and a half away, we get to see a lot. Obviously, we're not from there, so we don't get it as much, but we see it a lot. And like I said, definitely the pride. And I think that the Black Panthers and all that stuff from years back have a lot to do with it, because people from Oakland are just so prideful. It's like
definitely.
They've went through such a struggle. I feel like you guys have went through such a struggle that you could see it. You wear it on your sleeve like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that 100%.
For sure. So, tell me what it was like growing up in Oakland. Did you have both parents, or did you only have one parent?
I had both parents. You know what I'm saying? Primarily my dad.
Right.
Him and my mom was going through, a separation or whatever.
Right.
I'm too young to understand what was going on. I just got to go with the flow type of
So
deal.
it was like back and forth weekends and stuff like that?
Type shit. You get what I'm saying? So it was a lot of that. And then I just remember my dad ended up getting full custody. And, he from Atlanta. So after he did, we ended up moving down to Atlanta for a few years. Okay. Went to school out there. You know what I'm saying? It was basically a second home of mine, for real. You know what I mean? Came back when I was in like the fourth grade. You know what I'm saying? And then shit, been here ever since. So
moving over to Atlanta for a little while, did you have to learn quick and not in California anymore?
Not exactly. I still had that passion.
Oh, okay. So you were a lot younger though too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? My mom was,
I know, because I was in California when I moved to Texas. I learned hella quick that I'm not in California no more.
I mean, well, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I had moments where I had to learn that. I ain't gonna lie. Like me thinking back now, like it was just different. You know what I'm saying? Like getting on the bus, dealing with different type of just a lifestyle.
Talking to people.
Yeah, man. Like
the language and
the
slang.
Language, the way they pronunciate the words. Yeah. I was different to them.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like the alien more than anything. You know what I mean? So, it was definitely a challenge just to adapt to a new environment. But it was also dope. I learned, a lot of different things musically. You know what I'm saying? Life stuff. You know what I mean? Manners. You know what I mean?
Real big on respecting the
song. Yeah, just real big on that. You get what I mean? So I got a lot of that in me.
Yeah.
So I can spread that to, the people around me.
So you got the game and you got the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
And then later when you start doing your career and you go back there, you got ties there. People are familiar
exactly.
with you. Yeah.
Yep.
So it all works out.
Yep.
Shout out to Pops.
Always. Shout out to my dad, man.
Yeah. So what kind of teenager were you growing up when you moved back to Oakland? Were you into sports, all about the girls in the streets? Were you the nerd? What kind of teenager were you growing up?
I was I would say I was just a kid, you know
Just
what I'm saying?
regular.
Regular kid trying to find his way,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Okay.
I was into cartoons just like any other kid. I
Yeah.
was into toys just like any other kid. I had the moments in my life.
Yeah.
Um, and then, as you get older, you start seeing, different things come
Yeah.
around.
There was a
You know what
lot
I'm
of
saying?
shit going on
A
around you.
lot of shit going, especially
Yeah.
in Oakland. So it's like,
Yeah.
you learn real quick, you gotta be on it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So from that perspective of seeing a lot of shit at an early age, right?
Yeah,
You had to make a decision what kind of life you were gonna have. Were you gonna
exactly.
go into X, Y, Z, or were you gonna just stay straight?
Yep.
What was it that made you in the direction of going the way you did instead of getting caught up in another lifestyle that would have led you a different path?
I'll just say God for one, you know what I'm saying? Because it could have been any kind of other way, you know what
For
I'm saying?
sure.
So I'm a big believer in my faith. Also, just the way I was brought up. That's why I shout out my dad all the time. Him
Right.
being from Atlanta was just a different upbringing. Being from Oakland, still, you know what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
going home to a dude that's from Atlanta,
Right.
so it just was just different. Having to deal with that, and then I don't know, man. It was just what I'm saying. I can't really explain it, but
That makes sense because we all have choices, right? And you just
yeah,
made yours based on what you thought was a good idea, and then
yeah.
obviously your parents' guidance. So it makes
Yeah,
sense,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely was got it right. And then me just being more observant, I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like I was a quiet kid, so I always observed, you know, uh options. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Staying on your toes,
Staying on my toes. I'm like,
noticing.
should I do this or do that? I was
Yeah,
always that type of kid.
I tell my daughter all the time is read the room.
Yeah,
Notice your surroundings. What's going on? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Don't just follow everybody what they doing.
Yep.
And it sounds like as a child growing up, as a teenager going into your manhood, that's
Hmm.
something that helped mold you into the person you are today.
Exactly.
Probably kept you out of trouble.
It
You
did.
know,
I had the option of, and I'd say this to, a lot of people around me. I had the option of, getting into the street shit. You get what I'm saying? Like it was in front of me every day.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like I had that option. Like I knew them. Like I knew all of them. They knew me and my little brother Raymond. Shout
Right.
out my brother Rayven Justice, RP.
Rest in peace.
But we was out there like that. We seen them. They was always outside. You feel me? It was easy to get into that
For
if I
sure.
really wanted that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I just saw something bigger for myself. You know what I'm saying? Always since I was a little kid. Like when I would see things on TV, like even like Mike when I was a kid, the movie Like Mike,
With Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow.
Right.
I leave out the movie theater and I think to myself like, dang man, like he just inspired me to be large. You
For
know what I'm saying?
sure.
And I was a kid when I watched it. So I was like, dang man, I wonder, what it would be like to be like famous. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So it just always was stuck in me ever since then. And it was more and more different reasons that of pointing me in that direction. My dad always was in music, you know what I mean? Always had artists that he invested in, singers to rappers from all over the world. So that was an inspiration of his own, me being a little kid and him taking me to the studio, just like you doing with your daughter. I
Right.
was in there, you get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and watched him and observed him, you know what I'm saying? And I might have didn't want to take it serious at that point, but later in my life, I
And
did.
just the foundation that he was putting in
Exactly.
you, just letting you know, hey, this is an option, and there's different things out there other
Right.
than the life.
He definitely
Everything
planted a
ain't for
seed.
everybody.
Yeah, he definitely planted a seed
Yeah.
musically for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was always around it. He was for a little while when I was a kid, he was the neighborhood CD burner. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So if you needed, you know what I'm
Nice
saying?
little lick right there.
Yeah, he went and invested into one. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it burnt like 6 CDs at one time, type
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I was a kid, I was always helping with that.
And then you
I'm
got
like,
the jewel case that holds 100. So
you
what you
already know.
need? Boom, boom, boom. Page 7.
But
Boom.
I remember just seeing everybody come into our apartment, knocking on the door, and it was just a bunch of different local artists. Like, I need hey Ray, my dad named Rayven,
Right.
so he like, hey Ray, I need my album pressed up.
Well,
So we would always go in there. I think our CD burner even wrote on it, like it lasered the
oh,
words
that's
and stuff
dope.
like that. So we used to, me and my little brother used to be up in there all night burning all them
Burning
CDs.
CDs.
Man, you feel me?
Hey, you worked for this music, literally.
For real. So it's like it's always been here for me. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying? And later in my life, when I was, I think, eighth grade or ninth grade, I want to say, that's when I got inspired. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, Chris Brown came out and and woke me up for real. Like I was like, man, who is this nigga? Like,
For sure.
he reminded me a lot of myself for real.
Yeah,
You get
because
what I'm
he's a young
saying?
fly dude.
Yeah, you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
on TV, like I'm like, man, if he could do it, I could do that.